Alright guys, back again. So yeah, loads of people have been messaging me saying, oh, it looks like it's so much hard work keeping a reef tank this big and what have you. So I thought what I'd do is I'd just do a little a maintenance video of everything that I do, sort of my once a week kind of chores, and I'm about to do it, so I thought I'd just take you along. Right, first things first, I've got to empty, this is a week's worth of skimmate from this Nio skimmer. It is brown, green, nasty. So this is my first job. So here we go, I've just removed the skimmer cup and oh, it is nasty. Look at that. So that's a week's worth of grossness. So I'm just gonna take that upstairs and give that a bit of a scrub. And here we go. Nice and clean. So I just gave that a good old scrub. I swear that is exactly what death smells like. So we're just gonna pop that back. I've got to say, something I really appreciate about this skimmer is it is really easy to sort of take on and off. It just sort of slips into the grooves at the bottom and then you can just twist it on and off. There we go, nice and clean. To the other side, we take off this torque reactor and just change all the media inside. I love these. You just twist them off and then I just let it drain away a little bit. Easiest reactor to change in my opinion. I've had so many that have just been a complete pain in the bum. So those last little drips of water come out there. A little shake. There we go. And then straight into this bucket here. So I've got rower phos in the top and a bit of carbon in the bottom, and that just needs refilling, so I'll just take that upstairs, give it a bit of a rinse and we refill it. Now the reason I was running a really big bag of carbon in the bottom section there was because I'd done a lot of fragging of the tank, which I'll show you in a minute, and because a lot of the corals had been sliming up, I thought it would be good just to run a nice bit of carbon in there just to keep the water nice and clear. So I've got my rower phos, a nice big thing. I generally use about just under a full paper cup's worth. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. So I generally use about 100 grams a week, I would say. So it's worth me getting the bigger things. It does make it a bit cheaper. There we go. So just under a cup, and then let's see if I can do this without spilling it everywhere. There we go. And then that just goes in there, and then I'll give it a good rinse. Even when I rinse it, I still find some of the browny kind of water comes through, so I'm going to take that back upstairs and give that a bit of a rinse. Giving it all a good rinse, you just have to line up the two arrows. I have it on a very, very, very low flow rate, so you can open it all the way up. I just have it all the way down so as not to blast it through. The water will come all the way up and it'll come out the top. So that's that done. I also like to daily just roll on my roller mat. You can see all that filth that gets dragged out. I mean, you can just see the difference between the new bit and the old bit. It picks up lots of stuff that you don't want floating around in your tank, which is good. And here we go, we'll turn back on. See, even after rinsing the row, it's still pretty grim as it comes the way up, and then it slowly clears. So just keep this on a really, 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 really low setting until it kind of clears a little bit, and then just let it dance at the bottom. Skimmer looks nice and clean now. That's clearing up. There we go, yeah. There we go. Good stuff. And the next thing we have to do is come over to this side, and this is where my auto top-up section is. Here you can see it's running a little bit low, so I'm just going to fill this one up with some nice freshly made RODI water. This is my little water station here. I've got some fresh RODI water, freshly made, and I've got some tubing and a pump, and all I do is I pump the water from here into the RO reservoir because I just don't like picking up buckets. Okay, so that's now nice and full. I'm going to take this back, and that's another job done. And now the next thing I do is I refill the kalk stirrer. So I have to turn off a couple of the plugs down here, so the stirring mechanism, and then the auto top off, which fills it up from the auto top up reservoir. And then it's a little bit of a bodge job how I fill this, so I'll show you. Detached everything that needs to be detached. I can actually just remove this now from the tank, and what I tend to do is just tip some of the water into here, and then I'll show you what I have to do, because when I put it together, I screwed the lid on far too tight and I've never been able to get it off since. So I just let some water come out here that's inside the reactor from the top, then I mix up some new kalk solution and I pour it back in through the top. So yeah, probably not the best way to do, but it's worked out fine for me for the past 4 months, so yeah, probably not viable for long term. Maybe I will manage to get the lid off at some stage, but I've never been able to manage to get it off since I put it on. So what I do is I undo this little bit here, take off the hose, there we go, take the hose off, and then I lie this backwards and I pour the freshly mixed kalk solution into it. Here we go, so like feeding a baby bird, fresh kalk, and I pour it into there. So there we go, all filled back up. Just tighten that on so there's no leaks. All good. It's a little bit cloudy, so I'll just leave it for a few minutes just to settle back down, and then I'll turn it all back on. Okay, so it's all back into place. The only things I need to reconnect is this connection here, which just push fit, and then I just have to plug the motor back into here, and that just keeps it stirring, and that's it, all back on. So now all that's left to do is just go around and check that everything's looking okay. It all looks really good. Everything's settling down now after the mass chopping and moving everything around. I've moved on the 2 anemones now, so the elegance has taken its place. It's really loving life here. It's nice to have that space there, not being taken up by wandering bubble tips. Even got quite a lot of growth on the glass there from this Pavona. I'm actually just waiting on a second MP40 because I've got one there and I've just won one on eBay, so it'll be good to have one on the other side because I've got 2 MP10s and it's not ideal to have them on the thicker glass. But everybody's looking super happy. Typically this anemone here has now split again, so I still have 2 in this tank. I've got lots of frags here coming along nicely from the mass fragging session. I've also got, you can't quite see, but right in there is a really cool sea cucumber. He was really nice. I actually got him as a trade-in for my bubble tip. There they are, these 2 loving life here. Unfortunately, the tops of these 2 acros here, I had this other wave maker on here, and the sheer strength of that wave maker actually just sheared off the flesh of the coral. So I've turned that one off for now. I think it's just a little bit too strong. or too direct maybe. Also got another sea cucumber here who I'm just like fascinated with at the moment. So cool. I do love those sea cucumbers and the sea apples. Everything's coming along. My Jedi Mind chick's recovering from being found a few months after the tank move. I'm loving the yellow on this. I've never seen one with a real yellow mouth. And everything else is looking really nice at the moment. Still being plagued by this non-green star polyp, but it comes off with a toothbrush. I mean, it grows back, but it doesn't seem to be like, doesn't seem to kill anything, so that's the main thing. And then yeah, so these two MP10s are going to be going on the other tank, and it's going to be replaced with an MP40 to match the other side. That's nice. Yeah, so everything's doing good. I just want to have a little look in here. So I've got some frags growing out under here. What else is going on? Not really much. I've got the I'll go around the other side because I've got the LED frag rack working now, which is all cool. So there we go. So I've got lots of frags in there that are just relaxing or what have you, settling in, really nice. So yeah, it's done the job perfectly. So all these are just settling down now. Yes, looking really good. My that's the stream from my calcium reactor. It's always good to make sure that there is stuff going in. But yeah, have a little look at my cupboard. I've still got a wireless control box for my lights and for the MP40s to go on. Yeah, other than that, everything's looking good. Still need to sort out my wires. But yeah, it's all looking good. It's all looking good. Still lots of work to do, but definitely getting there now. I'm in this clam. I'm just loving the clam at the moment. It's got a really sort of bluey green edge to it. Very nice. I've got a couple of new corals as well. I picked up from a fellow hobbyist. I've got a sort of a green bird nest stylo there. And what else have I got? I've got an encrusting little something there, which actually looks very similar, sort of opposite colour to the one I've got going on in there. Got a little new mushroom that I thought might be quite nice to get them to base around the bottom of the rock there. Also got a little feather duster worm with yellow tips, looking pretty cool in there, looking quite happy. So all in all, yeah, very pleased. Just need to get gluing down some of these frags now. Awesome. Alright, that's my video for today, just showing you a few of my weekly maintenance chores that I have to do on this tank. If you like these videos, please like, share, subscribe, comment as much as you can, and I'll try and get back to everybody. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.